If you think the worst part of being with a narcissistic woman is when she controls you, you are wrong. The most dangerous phase is when she realizes she can't anymore. Because when a female narcissist loses control over you, she does not surrender. She escalates. And today, I'm breaking down the 5 things she will almost always do when she feels her grip slipping. And number 5, that's the one that blindsides men the most.
Welcome to the Narc Free Man Podcast.
Welcome back to the Narc Free Man Podcast. I'm Philip Dugas. Let's get into it. First, let's define what losing control looks like. It's not you screaming. It's not you cheating. It's not you doing something dramatic. It's subtle. It's when you stop over-explaining. You stop apologizing for everything. You stop reacting emotionally. You start setting boundaries calmly. You begin emotionally detaching. That's when she feels it. Not because you attacked her, because you stopped feeding her. And once she feels that shift, the survival response kicks in. Now here's the key. What she does next isn't random. It follows a pattern. Let's break it down. The first thing she does when she feels control slipping, she becomes the woman you fell for. Suddenly, she's affectionate again. She apologizes. She cries. She promises therapy. She says, "I don't want to lose you." She says, "You are the only man I've ever truly loved." And here's the part that messes with your head. It feels real. I spoke to a man who was packing a bag to leave after years of emotional chaos and abuse. That night, she made his favorite dinner, sat next to him on the couch, held his hand, and said, "I know I've hurt you. I'll change." He told me, "Phil, it was the version of her I always hoped would come back." And that's the trap. It's not growth. It's fear. Narcissistic supply is threatened. And when supply is threatened, charm reactivates. This is not transformation. It's stabilization. She doesn't want to lose you. She wants to regain leverage. Now listen carefully. If love bombing works, she resets control. If it doesn't, she escalates. And that's where things get darker. And when charm doesn't work, rage does. Suddenly, you are abusive. You are cold. You are the narcissist. You are mentally unstable. You are ruining the family. Notice the speed of the shift. Yesterday, she was crying. Today, she's attacking. That's narcissistic injury. When control slips, ego destabilizes, and destabilized ego lashes out. One man told me, "The moment I said I needed space, she called me manipulative and heartless. 2 days before that, she was begging me to stay." It's not inconsistent behavior. It's strategic escalation. Now, here's where most men mess up. They defend. They explain. They argue facts. That's exactly what she wants, because engagement equals supply. And if rage doesn't restore control, she moves into strategy. And this is where the damage becomes external. The next one is the smear campaign. So if the emotional chaos doesn't pull you back in, she shifts to narrative control. And this one is subtle. She starts telling people her version of the story, right? Friends, family, coworkers. And it sounds like this: "I'm scared. He's changed. He's emotionally unstable. Or I don't know what's wrong with him." Notice something. She doesn't scream publicly. She frames. She positions. She builds credibility. One man I spoke to found out months later that his wife had been quietly telling people he was depressed and erratic. He didn't even know the story was being written. Listen carefully. When she can't control you directly, she tries to control how others see you, because perception is power. And as she wins perception, she regains leverage. Now, here's the part most fathers aren't prepared for. If perception doesn't fully restore control, she looks for leverage. And sometimes that leverage is the children, unfortunately. Which brings me to number 4, my next point, using children or logistics. Hey, quick interruption to the show. I want to let you know that I put together a free guide called 21 Signs She Might Be a Narcissist. It breaks down the exact red flags that most men miss until it's too late. This isn't some therapy fluff or watered down relationship advice. These are the real signs you need to watch for if you are dealing with a woman who uses guilt, gaslighting, and emotional control to keep you stuck. I've helped thousands of men through my podcast, and 9 times out of 10, they say this guide was the moment everything clicked. They finally saw her for what she was, and more importantly, they stopped blaming themselves. So if you have ever wondered, am I crazy or is she just that good at pretending? Click the link in my bio or the description below and download the free guide. Now back to the show. This is where things get serious. When emotional control fails, when narrative control weakens, she shifts to logistical control, access, schedules, finances, and custody leverage. And it doesn't always look dramatic. It can look like daddy doesn't love us like he used to, or he's too busy, or he's angry. Subtle, repeated, positioned as concern. I spoke to another dad who said, I thought she never involved the kids. She did. Because if she could control access, she controls pressure. This is why I always tell men freedom favors prepared men. When you are financially weak, emotionally reactive, and legally uninformed, you are vulnerable in this phase. And if none of this works, if love bombing fails, if rage fails, if the smear campaigns fail, if leverage fails, there's one final move. And this is the one that blindsides almost everyone. I'm talking about the silent, strategic withdrawal. This is the most dangerous phase. Not rage, not screaming, silence. Calculated silence. When emotional chaos doesn't restore control. She stops reacting emotionally. She becomes cold, composed, and detached. And this is where accounts shift. Legal consultations happen quietly. Narratives finalize and plans solidify. One man told me, I thought things were calm. I thought we had stabilized. Then I got served. Calm doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes it means preparation. When she realizes emotional control no longer works, she moves to structural control, legal, financial, strategic. So what do you do instead? If you are in this phase, here's what matters. Stop explaining. Stop emotionally reacting. Start documenting. Strengthen your finances. Rebuild your support system. Stay calm publicly and prepare quietly. The more grounded you become, the more unstable manipulation looks. The less reactive you are, the less effective her tactics become. Power is not loud. Power is steady. When the female narcissist loses control, you'll see who she really is. But this isn't about defeating her. It's about stabilizing yourself. If this episode hit hard, make sure to subscribe to the Narc Free Man Podcast. And if you want to understand these patterns deeply, the love bombing, the blame shifting, the isolation, the strategic control, I break it down step by step in my book, The Narcissistic Wife. You can find it on Amazon. So stay grounded, stay strategic, and stay narc free. I'll see you in the next episode.